So Christy Sides has finally done it. She has finally won a game against a team above 500. She's been coaching for 2 seasons. She has coached 60 WNBA games, and she has finally done it. But anyway, she also is getting a lot of heat for pulling Caitlin Clark out of the game to not let Caitlin Clark get her triple-double. But before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 15,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We're not going to hit it by the end of the day, but it would be absolutely mad if we did. That would be absolutely mental if we did it by the end of the day. I don't think we will, but you just never know. Either way, let's talk about Christy Sides. So you guys can see right here that like this meant a lot to her. This game meant more to them than any other regular season game. It's her first time winning against a .500 team. They were down 15 points. They were down 7 with 4 minutes to go, and they were down 15 in the third quarter, and they came back to win it. Everyone eats mantra of the Fever. Yeah, on the like when you run through Caitlin Clark, everyone eats. Everyone eats when you run through a passing first point guard like Caitlin Clark. And I do want to talk about what is obviously going to be the elephant in the room, and it's the situation surrounding Caitlin Clark's triple-double. And in reality, could she have put Caitlin Clark in the game down the stretch to try catch an extra rebound? Like, for example, again, with 40 seconds to go, Angel Reese had... And this is not even a knock on Angel Reese, because Angel Reese has, like, as far as I'm aware, did a great job in the Feast of Collier. I haven't watched that game yet, and has been brilliant all year. But, like, she had 7 points and, like, 11 rebounds with 40 seconds to go, and ended the game with 10 and 16. Like, when you're gonna... And it was also basically garbage time. You want to win the game first. The record is the record. Being the first rookie getting a triple-double is going to be great. But don't do it at the expense of a win. And she got stops. You cannot question a coach's decision when they've won the game. She's not trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark. I genuinely just think she's a terrible coach. I will, like, someone commented this and is like, it's dangerous to assume malice when there's incompetence. If you believe that she's trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark, then you believe that she knows better than what she's doing. You believe that she knows better, and I don't think she does. I think she's just a terrible basketball coach. And today, you could even see it in that game where they started off the game with Natasha Cloud guarding Aaliyah Boston. And it took 6 minutes of the team not being able to score, going 14-2 down. Maybe it was 5 minutes. Either way, they were 14-2 down before a timeout was called. And then they start going into Aaliyah Boston. First of all, it's on the players. It's on the players. It's on Aaliyah Boston as well. But it's on her. After one possession in that game, she should have been calling into Aaliyah. Post up Aaliyah. Because Aaliyah Boston literally had a 5'10" point guard guarding her. Because they wanted to switch every single screen. They wanted Natasha Cloud on Caitlin Clark. And they knew Caitlin Clark was going to come off a ball screen going right every single time. Which allowed them, instead of having the blitz, they just switched hard. They switched hard. And because they were able to switch hard, Caitlin couldn't turn the corner. She couldn't pull back. Because, again, Cloud is a good enough defender and quick enough to guard her. And it's not a big there. So they didn't even have to blitz. And it meant that Kat Copper, who was a better defender on Aaliyah Boston, could guard Aaliyah Boston. They were smart with their game plan to start the game, and Christy Sides was not smart enough to adjust early enough. She called the timeout very late, and as soon as they got into a bit of rhythm, they were killing it. Like, the Mercury wanted to do everything in their power to not let Brittany Griner get involved in pick and rolls. And she wasn't able to exploit that early. Obviously, as the game went on, you could see the players doing it, the players naturally doing it. On the defensive end, the team looked better. They looked better. But I think that's more so than anything. You've got the likes, when you've got players, there's individual players playing better on the defensive end. So, ironically, I know Katie Lou hit some big shots, but I thought Christy Wallace had one of her better games, and she was pulled for like the whole second half. Like, she was on the big run in the third quarter and taken off and not put on till the last possession. Then I thought Katie Lou was quite poor. And in fairness, Katie Lou did really well in the stretch, but I thought Katie Lou was shooting terribly. And I know she hit the big shot down the end. But I was just like, what is she doing on the floor? Even though last game when Katie Lou was playing really well, she was being pulled. Her rotation still confused me. She will pull a player when they're playing a lot of the time when they're playing well, and leave players out there when they're not playing well. But at the end of the day, none of this matters in a win. None of this matters in a win. And you could just see it on her face how important this game was to her, how important this game was to the team. And look, Caitlin Clark getting a triple-double would have been great. Caitlin Clark is almost certainly going to get a triple-double this year. She literally had, 8, 4, and 4 in the first quarter against Atlanta? Or maybe it was 5, 4, and 4. She's going to get a triple-double. It doesn't have to be this game. There's going to be a game where they're down 15 points. She's killing it. And she's going to just get it naturally. And realistically, everybody's talking about, there are a lot of people talking about, even with Angel Reese's record, that it looked like she was fouled intentionally to get the record at the end of the game. That it's like, oh, you just left her in the game and they were letting her just get 5 of her own rebounds. And obviously that's not the case. She broke the record for a reason. What happened to, do you want that being like, oh, well, Christy Sides was risking losing the game. She just got a pity a defensive rebound. Her teammates let her get that board at the end of the game. No, you don't want that. She's going to get a triple-double naturally. It makes absolutely no odds, and they won the damn game. Her winning versus Taurasi means 10 times more to this team. It means more to her. It means more to her teammates. Them winning this game, especially coming back from down 15, than an arbitrary triple-double. The only people that really, really are going to make it the biggest deal about the triple-double number are the people that aren't necessarily watching the sport. They are pretend fans of basketball, and it goes on both sides. The pretend fans of Angel Reese that will argue that a double-double with rebounds is a lot more difficult than a double-double with assists. Even though no one in the history of the WNBA has ever averaged 10 assists in a game, and only one person did it in the NBA this year. And 15 people in the NBA got double-doubles with rebounds. The only people that are really, really annoyed about it are the people that just want to angrily argue with the Angel Reese people spamming double-double everywhere with, well, can she get a triple-double now? At the end of the day, who cares? Who cares? We're watching two great basketball players play, and if you're actually watching the game, whether or not she was on the floor and a ball landed into her hands like it did to Christy Wallace twice off misses or not, makes no odds. They won the game. Does it make any difference for the team if she was standing under the basket to catch those other than Christy Wallace? No. Would it have been great to say she got a triple-double? Sure it would have. But does this make any difference for the team? No. Should it be a knock on Christy Sides? No. At the end of the day, you know what her job is as a coach? To win games and also to put butts in seats at times. Because that is a job. When you have Caitlin Clark on your team, that is a job. To let Caitlin be Caitlin. At the end of the day, I don't think she's doing a very good job at that. I think she's a bad coach. I think this is a team that's going to be a future championship winning team if you build around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. I think the two of them are going to be exceptional together for a coach other than her. I think she's completely out of her depth. But to blame her for trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark and trying to stop her getting a triple-double, no one in their right mind is going to try to sabotage Caitlin Clark. Do you know what? If Christy Sides, with the way WNBA money is going to be, if she was good enough at her job and was able to make Caitlin Clark just look like the best player in the world, if she had any idea of how to do that offensively, she wouldn't be losing her job and she could demand double in her next contract. If she was a coach that could get the best out of Caitlin Clark, she could literally double her pay in the next contract. She's just not a good enough coach. There's no malice there. She's not trying to sabotage Clark. She's just not good enough to know how to use Clark. So we gotta stop with the whole trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark. And I know this video is going to be titled something sensationalist, but at the end of the day, I want to at least put some logic in this conversation. Because the amount of, is she trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark with the triple-double talks? She's not trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark. And if you look at stuff from me 6 weeks ago, before anything in the season really started, before I watched a lot of this game, originally it was like, I want her shooting long twos, I want to do this and that, and it's like, she, not necessarily trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark, but she was trying to make Caitlin Clark fit in rather than fit the team around Caitlin Clark. And initially, I might have thought, oh, she's trying to sabotage it. At the end of the day, she's not. She's just terrible. And that's fine. Being a terrible coach is fine, but there's no point saying that there's malice in it. Because there's no point confusing incompetence with malice. And look, Caitlin Clark was brilliant today. Christy Sides did not lose them the game. She has lost them plenty of games before. She didn't win them the game. She didn't lose them the game. Which is a great thing for Christy Sides. To say that Christy Sides did not lose her team a game, a close game that they lost, and it wasn't the fault of Christy Sides, that is the biggest compliment we can give to Christy Sides out of any of the close losses so far.